Be prepared for highly offensive language throughout and adult and sexual themes. So it's been a busy weekend in the Big Brother house. We've had positive nominations. Akeem's won the power of knowledge. Let's see how they're celebrating. They're laying around in bed. Nothing? Nothing. It's time for me on the side. Show tonight. Zoe spoke for us all when she realised it was positive nominations.
Yay! Yay!
Do you know, that's how I feel coming in to see you lot every day. Meanwhile, Cameron was getting a little bit sexual.
Daddy.
It's weird, isn't it? It's weird when he does it. But it's not a patch on Thomas.
Let's talk about dick.
Let's talk about dick! But joking aside, Lewis has had enough of all this sex talk and counted 300 sexual innuendos in one day. That's 2,000 a week. I know. So in his honour, in honour of Lewis's very impressive mental arithmetic skills, I've got my very own gizmo keeping track of all the innuendos in tonight's show. I'm going to call it I Feel For My Hard Working Style. Oh, he's there now, look at that. Who designed that? Who designed that? So I better keep it clean. Let's get down to business. So, oh, come on, that wasn't the set. It's time to get my big pointer out. And I'm going to flap it around. We need to get serious, though, because today was Nominations Day! But with a twist. The housemates were asked to give positive nominations, which highlighted the housemates' positive attributes. It's a good idea for everyone, except Akeem, because he didn't receive any. And Kian and Thomas only received one. I can also reveal that Thomas, Sian and Brooke were bottom three of the viewer vote this week. So Thomas got a double whammy this time. This does mean that the housemates currently at risk of eviction are Akeem, Brooke, Kian, Sian and Thomas. But, as always, that pesky little game changer could change everything. And do not forget, as the richest housemate, Zoe will also be taking part in the game changer, so watch this space. Coming up tonight with the competition heating up, I'm going to be calling on my sexy sidekick, Annabelle Knight's in the building. Hello! She loves her little lady in red. She's been taking a look at the housemates' entrance VTs. Remember the entrance VTs? We're going to see who stayed true to themselves and who has changed the most during the Big Brother experience. And they went in together and left on the same night. Hussein and Isabella are back on my sofa. This time next week, they'll probably be married. But it's time to meet now three famous-ish faces who will keep me company for the next 60 minutes behind my desk of dreams. First up, as Harry and Meghan Fever sweeps Australia, we are joined by Big Brother royalty, all of our own. She won our hearts 8 years ago when she won the series, and she is literally squeezing every last second out of that 15 minutes of fame. It's Josie Gibson! Next up, this hunk is bringing us a ray of summer sun on a damp autumnal day. He makes all the gays and the girls in our office go a little bit funny every time he walks through it, let me tell you. And he's got the best celebrity hair since Rachel from Friends, Arsha Big Sister. It's here, BBUK! And finally, a great intellect, a broadcasting powerhouse, a journalist heavyweight. People have called this woman a lot of things over the years, but I would never use that such language on bots. I'm not going to lie. It's Vanessa Fox! What a lineup! Right, we haven't got a moment to spare, so let's get on with the mass debate, if you like. Go on, yeah, you can have that one. We're going to talk about the positive nominations in more detail a bit later on, but we must touch upon them now a little bit. Jose, I mean, you ooze positivity.
Really?
It beams from every pore, babe. Positive noms, that must have been right up your street.
I tell you what, sometimes the house can get really negative, so it's so lovely to have positive nominations. Isn't it nice to just watch nice people and nice things being said?
It was nice. It made a change. I mean, don't get
nice.
me wrong, we love a little negative Nelly every now and again,
yeah,
don't we?
yeah.
But it was a nice little change.
Yeah.
I mean, it led to a lot of positive comments about the housemate, apart from Akeem, God bless him. He didn't get a single positive nomination. Vanessa,
Yes.
why didn't Akeem get
Oh,
one?
he's not bad, but he's not all that great. He's just a kind of a neither here nor there, sort of a grey area of a chap, isn't he?
Do you
He had all
think-
the money at the beginning, now he's got the wisdom, no one cares less about it. He's just a bit of a sort of wishy-washy type of a thing, isn't he?
Vanessa's back, everyone. She's back on board. Big Brother actually told him in the diary room later that he hadn't received a single positive nomination. Yeah, I mean, look, he's got the power of knowledge, so Big Brother's told him that. I mean, what did you make of his reaction? He seemed to keep it in, I thought.
I felt really sad for him. He looked, like, generally really disheartened by it. And, like, you could see visibly on his face that he was just as shocked. I think he expected at least one housemate to vote for him.
I think
Whether that would've
everyone
been
would
Cameron.
expect at least one.
Yeah, and I think he's got closer to Cameron recently, and I think in the back of his mind he expected that. And so I almost felt bad watching it. The poor geezer went in there.
Who feels
already.
sorry for him? Oh, man, straight up.
I felt really sorry for him. Like, I feel like Akeem's really misunderstood. Like, he's a scapegoat for everything. They blame him for absolutely everything that goes wrong in the house.
He does get a lot of the blame.
I feel really bad for him.
I felt bad for him.
About him. I feel like they just don't dislike him or anything, but I feel like because he's been kind of quiet for the last couple of weeks, I feel like they just kind of forgot about him. I don't know if that's any better.
Can I just apologise? The whole time I was talking to you, I was just looking straight down your face. I'm so sorry. I mean, you've got a lovely breast. I'm so sorry. That deserves a big. Honestly. Okay, I mean, we're not going to get the angle, but congratulations to you. Go. Right, let's keep with Akeem and the question that he asked the public. Now, we saw it in tonight's Tomorrow tease on the main show, but for those who missed it, it was, do you think Akeem Griffiths deserves to be in the final? So that is the question he has asked the public. The public can give a yes or a no answer. Jose, what do we think he's going to get?
Well, just because I feel a bit sorry, like, I feel sorry for him. I want him to be in the final, but it's a sorry vote. Do you know what I mean? It's not that he's done anything good or bad.
A bit of a pity vote from you.
Yeah, a pity vote. That's what.
Eo, if you were voting, would you say yes or no to him?
I think I would say no, and I think he's going to get... I would, I do. I think there are bigger characters in there, and I think there are people who are shining brighter than him through no fault of his own.
Vanessa, I can see that you're agreeing with Eo there, but I have got to say, Akeem has been involved in a lot of things during this series.
But don't you
I do think he's a little bit underappreciated.
But that's such a naff question to ask.
I know, I think it's a silly one.
Questions in the world that you could ask, couldn't you?
He could have asked
The
any
secret of
yes or
true
no question.
happiness, Name all the people in Steps. You know, there are things he could have asked. And he says, do you think he deserves to be in the final? No.
You don't.
No.
Do you know what's quite funny? I do think it is a bit of a waste of a question on Akeem's part. But it's exactly the sort of thing I would have expected Akeem's part.
Why, isn't it?
Both him and Cameron, though, had an interesting chat earlier talking about Lewis's paranoia. Vanessa, what did you make of the exchange between Cameron and Akeem? They seem to be getting quite tight.
I mean, they seem to trust each other, don't they? They seem to kind of respect each other. Shame that old thing he didn't nominate him as a positive, isn't it? Given that they've got a bit of a sort of rapport going, obviously, in some kind of affection.
Well, Lewis had a bit of a... I mean, it was a jokey exchange with Cameron about how he'd barely seen him. Jose, do you think there was maybe a little bit more to that, a little bit underlying?
Yeah, I think he needs Cameron to make his paranoia feel better. So because he's so paranoid about everything, he needs Cameron to make him feel better about it. And the fact that he hadn't seen him, yeah, I think it really got to him. And I think he knows that Cameron's got like a fancy soft spot for him as well. And I think he does play on that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, a couple of claps here.
Yeah.
Eo, do you think Lewis should be worrying about sort of losing Cameron's friendship?
I think Lewis came across as a bit of a dickhead in that kitchen when he... I think Out of anyone in the house, we've seen his and Cameron's journey together, and he should have a little bit more faith in his friend that he hasn't gone and ditched him, but there's other people in the house that he's naturally going to gravitate towards. But Lewis is still very much there, and they're still very much friends. Cameron is still very much there, and they're very much friends.
Well, you say that. I mean, they are definitely united again. United against innuendos, that is. Both of them ended up using the suggestion box task to ask the filthier housemates to put a lid on it. As I said earlier, Lewis counted 300 innuendos a day. I was being nice, and I wasn't even being sexual. What do you make of the innuendos, Jose? I mean, do you think Lewis and Cameron should just swallow it up and... swallow up their complaints and just suck it... just suck it up? That's what I was trying to get to.
Do you know what? I am a Randy Mayer. I love
it. You just actually went, I'm a Randy Mayer. Like an horse.
No, I love a sexual innuendo, but I do think it did get a bit far at times. It did make me feel a bit at some points. It did go a bit too much when he... And I think Akeem's been very, very patient with it.
He's been very patient with Thomas. Hey, let me ask you, do you find Kean and Thomas's sexual chat a bit of a pain in the arse?
Do you know what? It's not a pain in my arse, but judging by what they're talking about, it's definitely going to be a pain in their arse, isn't it?
Vanessa, do you think Lewis and Cameron should have beated around the bush a little bit more?
I mean, personally...
I love it how one person went, oh.
I'd be very happy to give poor old paranoid Lewis a little bit of sucker, if that's what he needs. Definitely. What do I think about sexual innuendo? I think when you're in the Big Brother house, you are absolutely going insane with lust. Your libido's over here. The ability to relieve any kind of thing.
And saying that, she was only in there for an hour.
I couldn't stand it. An hour was too long. Too long to go without. Terrible.
Do we worry about the consequences for Thomas if he doesn't get a bit of the D quite soon? Because, I mean, it's all that's on his brain, isn't it, Jose?
I feel like he's going to explode any minute, but not lit. Oh, God. That was the worst, sorry, but yeah, I think he needs a good,
a good something.
Something that I add in it.
Yeah, and then you had a little baby, lovely. Very quickly, we did find out that Thomas lost his virginity in a forest tonight, which is nice. Kian lost his in a field with a lot of cows watching. Vanessa, when the time comes for you, where do you hope to lose your virginity?
In a box at the Royal Albert Hall.
In a box at the Royal Albert Hall. Well, enough of that filth. Coming up after the break, I'm going to have a backstage access all area story of what really happened after Hussein and Isabella were tossed out into the reality TV scrap heap. There they are! Plus, it looks like something's put the willies up, Cameron. I'll see you alcuni momenti. Ciao. Welcome back to Big Brother's bit on the side, and I've been quite inspired by Thomas. I've got my very own fan. Let's talk about dick, you know? But it seems like less than 3 days ago when we were saying an emotional goodbye to Hussein and Isabella in a dramatic night that saw a double eviction. Oh, that's because it was less than 3 days ago, apparently. The tissues have dried, the dust has settled, and it's time to find out what really happened between them, both leaving the house and ending up back on the show tonight. It's time to find out in their aftermath!
Welcome to a very special double eviction night! I can now reveal the 5th housemate to be evicted is... Hussein!
The right person went, yeah.
It were boring Lewis Stewart.
He was just too cocky, that was just too much as a newbie. People don't like that.
Gonna mess it up, ain't I?
Yes, Hussein had to go. He was an absolute twat. Isabella out next.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Isabella. I'm so sorry. Oh, Isabella.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame seeing as Isabella didn't really get nominated and didn't go up for the public vote.
Because she stood up for Hussein, she didn't really stand a chance against other housemates who had real bonds with each other.
I look awful. You don't. You look incredible. I don't really know what I've done wrong. Now it's over, but everything happens for a reason, I guess.
Would have loved to win, but stars don't stay till the end of the show. Thanks for that. Oh my God! You're okay? I know, the guy's fucking horrible to me.
Welcome back to Big Brother's bit on the side. It would be very regally rude of me if Hussein, I didn't give you your crown.
Oh, my name!
There you've been. There we go. Isabella, turn out, darling. You take the well with you.
Guys, I'm on my bloody phone. Finally! I'm happy, I'm very happy.
The videos and pictures are so funny. For a posh bird, she's humble. Oh, I love that.
164 bloody messages, Jesus.
It's really overwhelming.
Feeling tired, very tired, going from my phone all night, yeah. I got a lot of support, a lot of people saying I was 100% real, which is 100% me, so very, very happy.
I've spoken to my dad this morning. He said he's really proud of me, so I can't have been that bad. I met Lewis's mum last night. A bit soon, isn't it? Oh my God, look. That was definitely Kian.
I'm gutted you out, to be honest. Love watching you. BB is going to be boring now. Shock.
I'm so sad. Back to reality. Reality's good though as well.
So guys, that's it for now. The king is out. Rylan, I'm coming for you on Monday, bro. Let's go. Chase.
And just by magic, it's Monday now. Give up for Hussein and Isabella. Guys, I mean, you two are turning into quite the double act. I mean, you walk in together, you walk out together, you're back to... I mean, are you the new Ruth and Eamon? The king and queen. Hussein, let me come to you first. You've got the weekend now for it all to digest. We've seen you catch up with your friends, your family, your phone. How are you feeling now to be out?
You know what? Yeah, I feel happy. Obviously, I'm gutted. I'm not still in there. I was here to win, but and my nemesis is still in there. But I'm happy. I'm content. I've got a lot of love, more love than hate. So yeah,
good.
Very happy.
Isabella, what about you? You look stunning tonight, by the way.
Thank
Really beautiful.
I'm pleased I had time to get ready. I am still a bit gutted, but I get it. I understand he had to make a choice. You know, like it's nice to see my family and my friends, and they've all been really supportive. And the people on Instagram and stuff, like you've all been so kind. They've all.
Oh, when you kind, you laugh.
Honestly.
I just saw Barbara go, I'm not on Instagram, I don't know what it is. Hussein, I need to ask you.
Yes.
On Friday night, we had a little bit of a revelation. It was a little bit awkward, but you did reveal that you quite fancied Isabella on the show. I mean, is there anything on my...
I think we're just friends, aren't we? We're very good friends. We've made up.
Very good friends?
Yeah.
I couldn't put up with him.
I just hate the cringe. I mean, it's just the blue and the blue stripe. I mean, it's not.
Did you do that on purpose?
We did it in the house as well, so I don't know. We did it with
red.
Sorry. Filthy. Ignore them. They're just filthy tonight. Thank you. You've both had the opportunity to watch the show over the weekend, catch up, speak to your friends and family. Isabella, I want to come to you first. Obviously, on Friday night, I was sitting here saying to you, you like Lewis and stuff like that. Has your views changed on him at all since you've been outside of the house?
Obviously, I'm always, he's an attractive guy. You can't not find him attractive, but I feel like they haven't changed dramatically, but they have changed slightly. You know, some of the things I've watched back, but I do feel like a seed was planted before he went in the diary room and had a big rant. Yeah, from being in there. But I'm just going to have to see see how things go when he comes out and stuff. But listen, I highly doubt we're going to get married. No.
Not going to get married just yet. Well, listen, guys, because there was 2 of you out on Friday and I only had a 3-part show, I didn't have time to do something I do for all of my housemates. So, Hussein and Isabella, it's time for your joint botsmates!
The Big Brother house. A place of wonder. Only a few weeks ago, colonised by a strange collection of housemates. To settle in these harsh, unforgiving landscapes, new housemates have to dramatically adapt. One new arrival is quick to make his presence known.
The king has arrived! The king is ready to lay his law and run the house.
He circles the watering hole.
Want to take a walk?
A lot. In an effort to mark his territory. Meanwhile, the female chooses a different approach and joins a dominant male in a pruning ritual. In an eye-catching display, she puffs out her red plumage and ensures she gains eye contact with her intended mate.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's okay. While the other housemate continues to pace, surveying his prey, waiting to pounce.
Trying to think who my next target is.
At last, the time is right, and he goes in for the kill.
Why is it made an issue?
It's not an issue.
Then why are you making it into an issue? He tried to come for the king, not a chance, mate.
Baring his teeth and shrieking in a display, he hopes will win him the respect of the female.
Fucking little prick, bro. Hey, fuck's sake, man. Joey, big brother. You're a little pussy.
But his efforts, it seems, are not reciprocated.
I get on with Hussein so well as a friend. It's like one of my brothers.
Don't want her queen anymore.
Close to exhaustion, he gracefully retires back to his den. Meanwhile, the female rewards the dominant male by joining him in the nest. However, the battle for supremacy has blocked the rest of the pack, who reject the new members, and eventually they are cast out. With little pride.
Oh, guys, I mean, the journey used to have been on in there. In, out, shake it all about. Very quickly, Isabella, let me ask you, we've seen Cameron really upset, obviously, with his aftermath of evicting you on Friday night. Do you forgive him?
I forgive him.
You do forgive him?
I can't not forgive him, but it's a bit bittersweet, you know, like, I'm gutted. I am genuinely gutted. I feel like I had so much more to give and things...
But you don't blame him?
Not at all. Listen, he had to make a decision, and I get he's closer maybe to Akeem, but I feel like he's put Lewis in more danger now he's saved Akeem.
Do you?
100%.
Well, you've just brought up Lewis, Hussein. I mean, you've been out of the house now, you've caught up with your friends and family. Has your opinion changed on Lewis?
No, not at all.
It's not?
No, not at all.
We're sticking to his gun. Well, there's going to be more from you two a bit later on, because you're going to be joining my panel. But please give it up for Hussein and Isabella, everyone. Right, it's time now for me to go all science fiction on your air as I bring you tomorrow's headlines in today's Bots News. OK, settle down, please. Our top stories tonight. Lewis is looking for a clean slate. Sean's looking into reopening the salon. And Cameron's looking for a ghost. First up, at 9:51 this morning, it appeared that the positive nominations have had an effect on the House as Lewis washed his hands of his bad mood. Could he be cleaning up his act, Rumvy?
I better clean up then if anyone fucking reports me again, because I'm so messy. Doyles. Cameron, hi! You look fantastic today.
Lewis.
So happy to be awake on Monday morning this early and see your face. Keane, good morning.
Good morning, you beautiful man.
Hi, you beautiful human. Morning, Akeem, you're so handsome today.
Your physique is fucking solid.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be in your presence on this fine Monday morning. Oh, no. Food in the sink, how dare I? Every night I leave food in the sink. Shut up, John.
Oh, Lewis, I guess you could say he's a lean, mean cleaning machine. Next up at 10:42, Sean made an observation about Cameron's eviction cut run. VT.
I can feel him back in my hand.
I'm injuring you for the rest of the time in here. Just see my stupid hair.
It's looking good, though. Look.
Wow. It's giving me a flashback to Friday.
Yeah.
before everything hit the fan.
Yeah. I think I kind of blame the hair, though.
Yeah, same.
You turned
That's why.
badass and they thought, fuck, let's give him some shit to fuck up.
And I did.
And you did. You came through, fucked shit up and left.
No, I call this look Chaos Cameron. Despite the patchy bits, I think it looks rather trendy. Move over, House of Tomas, because we've got a new feature coming up, Hairs of Cameron. And finally, at 12:29 this afternoon, Cameron went from one hair-raising experience to another. Run, VT.
There's a lot of fucking noises around here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bizarre noises.
Yeah.
I got up to the kitchen the other week. I didn't even talk about it because I want to give the stupid ghost attention. Yeah. I got in the kitchen, everyone was asleep, and it was like the fakest ghost sound I've ever heard in my life, but it was ridiculously loud.
Like
it was
what?
like, ah. And I was like, what has gone on here? If I'd have been in the dark, I'd shit myself, absolutely shit my pants.
I heard someone like it were like they were there, and they were like, ooh, or something.
Listen, Cameron, I know you're desperate for a slot on the next series of Celebrity Ghost Hunt. I've got it. It's been noted, all right? Just move on from the ghost. Anyway, I'm now joined by our resident paranormal investigator, a woman who has studied the house herself. It's Josie Gibson. Josie, been waiting for you all series to be here. Please share some words of wisdom. I'm sorry we're out of time, and that's tonight's Box News. Thank you. Whoa. Coming up after the break, we're going to be going back to the future with my sexy sidekick, Annabelle Knight's back in the building. There she is. Look at her in the gallery having a lovely time. She's dusted off the launch night tapes to analyse how much our housemates have changed since they've been in the Big Brother game. Forget Watchdog with Anne Robinson. This is the show you can't afford to miss. Me and Josie will see you after the break. Welcome back to Big Brother's bit on the side. Now, listen, we have taken on board the wise words of our favourite intellectual, Lewis Flanagan, and tonight we are going to be discussing serious world issues. So, quick-fire serious questions panel. Josie, is Theresa May the right Prime Minister to lead us through Brexit?
I think we should have a businessman discussing our negotiations, not a Prime Minister.
Yeah, is the rate of inflation a concern for you?
Oh, well, Rylan, the rate of inflation is a
Vanessa,
concern
climate
for all of us.
change. Where do you stand on climate change?
I stand in a bikini right near the open freezer door because it's getting hot.
Yeah, let's open it up to the audience. Boom in, boom in, boom in. Let's go see what the audience... Sorry, we've not got time. Boom out, boom out, boom out. Apparently some old pensioners, as they said in the house, like to hear these kinds of serious conversations. And let's go to one of those pensioners now. Barbara, any thoughts?
All I know is my
Barbara,
polo caps are melting.
Barbara didn't want me to come to her because her tooth fell out. You all right? Give us a smile. Go on, Barb. Go on, give the fans what they want. Oh! Give them what they want. Go on, give them a smile. Go on, give them a smile, Barb. Give them a smile. Barbara, everyone. Thank you. That's enough. Love her. Ledge, give her own show. Do it. Now, with the final looming over the horizon, we thought we'd go right back to where it all began. She's going to hit me in the break, I know she and take a look at our housemates before they went in. Have they stayed loyal to their entrance VTs, or have they been changed by the Big Brother game? To find out, I've called on my sultry sidekick, our knight in shining armour. It's time for... Just made it in time. Give up for Annabelle Knight, everyone. Nearly fell over then, didn't it?
I saw.
Now, before we get down to the housemates' entrance VTs, I think we should get a little bit sexual. So you are our resident expert, and I know there's not a lot of sex happening in the house. The rampant innuendo in there tonight was quite big. It was topical, and it didn't appear to go down too well. What do you make of all the innuendo, chat?
I think they're getting to a point in the house where the dry spell is becoming a drought.
Oh.
So they are trying to... I didn't mean to do that.
Well, neither did I half the time.
Natural. Yeah, so in sex and relationships, we talk about the 7-year itch. Miller's magic numbers for memory is the number 7. The number 7 is very important in human interactions. This lot happen to be extremely horny, and they're taking it up a notch to the 6 week. So we've got the six week itch for the housemates.
Get a cream for that.
I know.
Yeah, thank you. Well, listen, we're going to step back in time and we are going to look at the housemates when they were all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in their entrance VTs, which we all saw on launch night. Do the profile I feel silly asking this question, but I'm going to ask it because it's in the auto cue. Do the profile VTs necessarily show us who that person is or who they're going to be as a housemate? Because I don't think they do.
No, they don't at all. What you've got to remember for these VTs is that they weren't housemates, they were wannabe housemates. So what the housemates were doing was putting their best foot forward. They were trying to showcase their best sides in a little package that they felt would make the best housemate for Big Brother. They were trying to impress in the little 3 minutes that they had. So what we see is a very extreme version of the housemates that doesn't necessarily translate.
I'm surprised impressing the 3 minutes we had weren't an innuendo. That's all I'm going to say. It should have been. I know you've chosen 4 of our housemates' VTs. I believe we're going to start with Kian. So let's have a reminder of his VT.
I love talking about myself, so no bother at all. It's going to be great. I'm from Tipperary in the Republic of Ireland, and I'm a solid 2 out of 10. I'm quite into meeting new people who aren't as extroverted as me. I love meeting introverts. I think a bad side effect of being an extrovert is people don't expect you to listen, but I've got massive ears. I will listen. Because I love looking up to people in power, so I feel like I would be your little bitch.
So what do you find so interesting about Kian's clip?
So Kian's VT is very confused. It's not a cohesive message. So in one breath he says, I'm really confident, and the next breath he gives himself 2 out of 10. So they're juxtaposing messages. They don't really go together. But we have seen that in the house. In his VT, tried to be all things to everybody to cover as many bases as he can. And in the house, he does the same thing. He tries to be all things to everyone. He's Zoe's rock. He's the entertainment of the house. He's the shoulder to cry on. He's just spreading himself a little thin and not leaving enough time for Kian himself.
So it had to be done, didn't it, that one? How do you think the game has changed him?
How do I think the game has changed Kian? I think Kian has remained quite consistent throughout. We haven't seen these great waves of personality.
I think that's a really fair point.
Like we have within housemates. I actually don't think it's changed him that much. I think, if anything, he's become even more selfless. He doesn't seem to take up much time for himself. He's not an emotionally draining housemate. He's very generous with his time and with his emotions, and that's the reason why I love Kian so much.
Fair point. Let's move on then to Cameron. This is what he looked like in his launch night VT.
I do have a habit of moaning quite a lot, which does irritate people from time to time. My PE teacher used to say that I was actually an 80-year-old trapped in a 16-year-old's body, which, I mean, I took it as a compliment, but I don't think it was meant that way.
Are you in a relationship?
No, I'm not in a relationship. I mean, I fall for people that just are not attainable.
So he falls for people. I know, you're ruined there, aren't you? Falls for people that aren't attainable. Is this the Cameron we're seeing in the house, do you think?
With the attainable bit, no one at that point in Cameron's life was attainable because he hadn't fully embraced his own sexuality. So just want to say that first and foremost. But no, I don't think we are seeing... I mean, maybe in the last 2 days he has been a little bit of a moody git, let's be honest.
He does love a mood.
But you've got to remember, he's only 18, his hormones are all over the shop, and he is being compared and living with fully fledged, fully grown adults who don't go through that emotional roller coaster on a daily basis.
Looking at the Cameron we know now, and we've been studying over the last few weeks, is that the same person, you think, as what we've seen in that profile VT?
There are definitely elements to him there. He has a very, very small way of communicating in terms of body language. He likes to make himself almost an infant in the conversation. We saw that with his conversation with Big Brother. He had rolled in shoulders. He's very, legs crossed, arms crossed. He's quite defensive in his body language. But through his friendships in the house, he started to open up a little bit. I'm preempting now.
I just love it when it just cuts back to me because they know I'm going to give him a face. It's like, no. OK, fair point about Cameron. Zoe I want to talk about, because I remember watching Zoe's profile VT and thinking, is this woman a character? Is she real? Because I genuinely thought... Let's have a look at it and you can make it up.
I am a 10, not in an arrogant way. I won't let society make me feel like I have to put myself down. If someone's starting on me, I'll sing to him, I am not a bitch, you're the bitch, now get out of my face.
please.
Would you like to be a housemate?
Now, as I was saying, I remember watching her profile, VT, and I was like, is this a real person? Because we saw so many different sides to this Zoe character. What are you making of that?
So Zoe's VT is a kind of classic housemate VT. She's tried to cram as many kind of sides to her as possible in to showcase herself in the best possible light. But that level of energy isn't... You can't keep that up long-term in a house. The problem I have with Zoe's VT is the level of... Sorry. The level of confidence. She says she's a 10 out of 10. She says she'll sing to someone, but we saw her not singing, but in fact arguing. I loved that version of Zoe, and I would love to see more of that in the house.
Do you think that was a more fun-loving Zoe we saw in that VT to what we've seen over the past few weeks?
Yeah, I think so. But again, like that energy, you can't keep that up 24/7, and she hasn't been able to, and she's gone through... Guys!
It's a problem for somebody.
And she's gone through lots of trials and tribulations in the house on an emotional level. So, yeah, I'd like to see more of that.
You'd like to see more of that, Zoe. There's someone we do need to talk about. He's been at the forefront of a lot of episodes, and that is a certain man by the name of Lewis. Let's take a look at this.
Communication and socialisation is one of my weak points. I had a panic attack in the supermarket. I can't explain myself in words. I'm too erratic and up and down, and I'm the polar opposite every other day. This is one of my biggest flaws that I want to work on, so being locked in a house with a lot of strangers that I'm probably not going to get along with is the best thing for me to do right now, because I'm so extreme.
Big Brother would like you to be a housemate.
Is that confirmation, or is it a test?
It's not a test.
So even there, looking back now, I mean, the beard's got a woo from the audience as well. But looking back now, even that, is that a test or is that confirmation?
Yeah, that's just the whole trust issues. Lewis cannot trust to save his life. Big Brother's telling him his housemate, and his first reaction is that a test? Not to celebrate like every other housemate and every other, the usual suspects. He wanted to question Big Brother, and we've seen that all the way through his experience in the house. He meets every situation with a bit of resistance. He can't just accept things for how they are.
And he said he was worried about, obviously, living with people, if he'd be able to handle it. We've definitely seen that struggle play out, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. He's not been the greatest playmate for the other housemates. I think someone over there can probably contest to that.
Yeah, maybe.
But he has gone on a journey, and we've seen him...
She didn't mean it dirty!
I didn't, I really didn't. I'm sorry.
Do you think he's probably the housemate that's most like their profile, VT, then?
Yeah, I think he has remained consistent from VT to now. One of the things I like about Lewis is, regardless of whether you love him or loathe him, he's consistent. He has never presented himself in any other way than he is.
True.
And for all intents and purposes, he is a fantastic Big Brother housemate.
He has been a brilliant housemate to watch, most definitely. This might be the last time you're on my show ever.
Don't.
I know it's very sad, so I'm going to ask you the question. Don't, because I'll cry. I'm going to ask you the question, who do you want to win?
I'd love to see Kian or Cameron win, but I think Lewis will win.
You'd like to see Kian or Cameron, but you think Lewis?
Or Lewis will win.
Annabelle, you have been an absolute pleasure, and if you don't come back, thank you so much for everything you've done for this show. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last time, Annabelle Knight, everyone. Right, coming up, I've got an absolutely huge exclusive for you. The housemates have been punished for discussing nominations. And I'm going to be showing you exactly what happened with that punishment straight after this break. Welcome back to Big Brother's Bit on the Side. Let's check in now on our Filthometer working title. Can we get it up, please? Oh! It's got bigger. Yeah. It's quite a stiff competition there. Anyway, all right, in a moment, I'm going to be getting to the bottom of those positive nominations. Who's up, who isn't, and who should be. But first, Big Brother is having serious words with Kian, Zoe and Lewis.
Hello, Zoe, Lewis and Kian.
Hello.
The rules regarding the discussion of nominations have been explained to you on several occasions. Over the last few days, all of you have broken this rule. You will be punished collectively. Would one of you collect the item from the hatch?
I don't think I have. Oh, fuck off.
brother will be shackling the three of you together until further notice.
Yeah! That's what we want! That's what you get! Oh, we can catch all of that in tomorrow night's main show, but it's another week, another fresh batch of nominations. But no, there was a twist, and we saw our 8 remaining housemates give positive nominations this week. So instead of who you like the least in the house, it was who you liked the most, and poor Akeem was left out in the cold and received no positive nominations. Former housemates Isabella and Hussein are still with us, so I want to come to you guys. Where would your positive nominations have gone this week?
So mine would have gone to Kian, definitely. He was a really good friend to me in there. And he's so down to earth and genuine. Like, you couldn't find a nicer guy. And my second, it would have to be between Thomas and Lewis. It would have to be between... I don't know who.
Shock.
Well, I don't know now. I've
Hussein.
seen some bits, but... Yeah.
What about you?
Mine would definitely be Akeem.
Oh, so you would have given Akeem? What?
Akeem and Thomas.
Akeem and Thomas, you would have went for.
Kept it real 100%, so
Well, if you wanted to know, there you go. But unfortunately, Hussein wasn't in the house, so Akeem didn't get any, but everyone else did. There were a few surprises as well, but let's talk about Zoe first. Vanessa, are we surprised she didn't nominate Kian?
Yes, because I thought she got over that little spat of jealousy
Yeah.
when she thought that he had fallen for her instead.
I was a little bit shocked.
So I thought she'd moved on. I thought she's a sensible girl. She's put that behind her. She realises it was a mistake. And he's been a good friend to her since the very off. So I was surprised by
Are we
that.
surprised that Kian didn't get... Oh, you're not, Junie?
No, because I think there was always something, as we saw her VT earlier, there's always something about her I found a bit fake. And I wasn't quite sure what it was. And then when I saw the newcomers come in and how jealous she got over Isabella talking to him, I mean, she said, oh, he didn't invite me over. Well, she's got legs. She could have walked over and joined them. Nobody stopped her chatting in the group. So when she did the first nom against him, and then it was going to be positive noms, I thought, is she going to redeem that? And I thought, no, she probably isn't. And true to form.
Late night chat with Junie Wooney. Come and see. Another surprise, perhaps, was Brooke giving Lewis a positive nomination. She'd previously given him normal negative nominations 3 times, but has now changed her tune a bit. Josie, I mean, we saw the fracas with the haircut the other day, and Brooke even turning round and I think at one point said, I want him to get evicted tonight. Were you surprised she went for a positive nom for Lewis?
Especially when he's the most negative in the house as well. But I find it strange what she did tonight when she said, she turned around and she went, oh, do you think it's weird that we're flirting? Do you think people think that we're flirting? And I think, well, why would you care about that? Are you flirting? Do you actually fancy him? And then I think she does have a little fancy.
You think she's got a little soft spot?
Yeah,
Well, you say that. We saw her rubbing his arms, much to Thomas's delight. Yeah, what are you making of Brooke and Lewis's relationship?
Do you know what? Like, I know Brooke is a lesbian, but at the same time, maybe she just likes a bit of him.
You think maybe she's connected with him somewhere?
I think over time, she has just slightly connected, and it doesn't take anything away from her, but she wants a bit of Lewis's D.
Oh! Yeah, that she's nodding. There was a lot of housemates showing love for Sean tonight as well during positive noms. Actually, Isabella, Hussein, I want to come to the pair of you for this. What do you guys make of Sean? Because on the outside, you know, she was bottom of the poll, I think, this week as well.
She's a bit of a floater.
Do you think?
Yeah, she's a bit of a floater. But she's a nice floater. She's nice to everyone in the house.
She's cooked dinner for everyone every night. But I do think she's lovely, but I do think she's played it quite safe in
Yeah,
there.
she has been a bit boring.
Barbara, you looked happy about the dinner.
The dinner?
No, you just said, oh, lovely. Get your fan out. Cover your teeth, Carl. Cover your teeth.
I said you wouldn't know she's there.
You wouldn't know she was there?
No, you wouldn't.
You look like you're doing a burlesque show, Bob. Do you want to give me a shimmy? A little shimmy? Go on, Bob. Go on. Bit of shoulder action.
No,
next time. I'm just going to save the shoulder action for next time, I want to go down the line. As you can see, these are the people that are currently facing eviction. Who do you want to see out on Friday?
Oh, I'd like to see...
Quick up.
Oh, God, I don't know. Come back to me.
Your time's up. That's all I've got for tonight. And that's it. Take it to my panel. My fantastic audience. Especially you. And to you at home for making me such a big part of your life. Tomorrow, I'm joined by Chizzy Akadulu and India Willoughby. Until then, always remember, Monday's a fresh start. It's never too late to dig in and begin a new journey of success. Before we go, let's check the innuendo counter. There's a lot. No.